The best thing about real estate investing is the passive income. Those accounts are literally the best accounts that you can have. This is where generational wealth, this is where after you make money, you go and you basically, what do you do after you make money? You either spend it or you invest it. And if you invest it right, it grows, and then money makes you money. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I heard it, but I didn't know it until I bought investment property.
The best experience is owning real estate. The better experience is owning investment real estate. Now, here's the thing that nobody tells you about investment real estate that we're going to tell you. Us, as two young kids who immigrated to America, very little guidance, okay? Very little opportunities, and the stuff we've been able to do is absolutely phenomenal, right? And we continue to grow. So let us just tell you our experience with buying investment property that nobody tells you. If you don't have a rich uncle or a rich auntie or a mother or father who own property and who teach you about real estate the way that we now teach our generations, let's just talk about it for a second. You make your money, and if you're smart, you don't spend it and you go and buy real estate. The problem, that misconception with buying real estate, is that people think that as soon as you buy it, you're just going to make money.
Right.
And that, nothing could be further from the truth. For us, what's been really true is the first 2 years is kind of restabilization of that property, right? So you might even lose money the first year.
Right.
You might make only $1,000 for a whole year of owning a property the first year.
Yeah, and I just want to say, this is where a lot of people say real estate doesn't work, and they sell right before they're going to start making money.
And the first 2 years, you might lose money or you might break even. It might not be worth it because now you gave yourself another job and you're basically spending all this extra time and energy on top of your work. And guess what? You don't have
Cash.
You don't have cash. And you don't have cash flow. But if you come into this and you say to yourself, okay, first 2 years is restabilizing the property. This is where experience comes in. Arthur and I have been able to do this with a few properties now, right?
Yeah, we've done it a bunch of times.
We just see the opportunity. You can learn to see the opportunity, or you can hire a couple geniuses like this guy and this guy, right? It's simple. You can do this. We did it, right? If we could do it, you could do it. But it's also not simple. It's simple to understand, but it's not simple to understand. It's easy to do, but it's not easy to do. Be prepared to lose money the first couple of years. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I think you can't buy it to need the cash out right away. But you have to execute, restabilize the asset in long term or longer term, right? 2 years is not long term. It's going to start to come back to you in many ways, more than one. And that compounds over time.
But 3 years and 4 years, right? So you go through the first 2 years of sludge and just absolute agony, right?
Yeah.
You can't, the property's not making enough money, the
You don't
value
know how to
didn't go
run it.
up, you didn't.
You're learning management, you're learning the tenants, you're renting it out.
And then magic happens on year 3. Year 3, you're like, wait, I think I made $20,000 this year. Wait, year 4, you're like, wait, I think I made $40,000 this year. Year 5, you're like, wait, I think I made $60,000 this year. And now this building, after 5 years of headaches, which if I didn't buy a building, I wouldn't have any extra headaches.
Nope.
But I also wouldn't have the opportunity of a building that can cash flow. And that's where people miss the boat on cash flow and how it really works. Of course, after you buy your 5th and 6th and 7th buildings, you're already established and you have cash flow. But in the beginning, those first few years, if all you're thinking is, this thing doesn't make sense, you're just not seeing far enough in the future.
And that compounds in many different ways, right? Like, for example, like year 3, you said you start to get cash flow, so you make 20 grand.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you look at your bank statement from year 1, where you bought the building and you owed 800, that bank statement might say that you only owe 750. So there's another 50 grand you made, right?
And debt pay down.
Debt pay down. And then if you look, you're like, wow, this property actually appreciated by 50 grand.
Oh, wow. So now you got another 50.
So that's like, I made 150 grand without doing anything but owning this building.
and then it shows up as cash flow. But in the beginning and during the ownership of the building, there's a lot of problems. There's time. It takes multiple years is a long time, right?
For most people, yeah.
Most people want to make money right now.
Instant gratification.
I want to buy it right now. I want to make money right now. I want to retire right now. You can if you're fourth generation in, baby. But if you're like us and you literally are starting out, guess what? Just buy something intelligently. Save your money from your working income. Buy something intelligently. Talk to us about any building that you might be looking at or what you should do. And then from there, you can build. You can take that equity. And what can you do once now you got year 4. Let's say now you got cash flow. Now you got debt pay down. Now you got appreciation.
In depreciation, you're saving money on taxes.
Touche. And now you got debt pay down and tax savings. But the thing is, like, you bought the building for $1 million, and now the building's worth $1.5 million. What can you do with the extra let's say you bought it for $1 million, that's your loan amount, and then you paid it down by, down to $900,000, except the building went up another $400,000. Now you got $500,000 extra.
So we call that equity, right? There's a couple of things you could do. One, you could tap into some of that equity, and now instead of saving $200,000 or $300,000, you just borrow it and go duplicate what you just did. Mm-hmm. Use that as a down payment. Go buy something that the numbers make sense in cash flow. You could also 1031 exchange to a bigger and better product. So you could take that building, sell it, defer your taxes, and buy something bigger or better that produces even more cash flow, because now you got whatever else you saved, $200,000 plus that $500,000. That's $700,000. You buy something else bigger, you make more money.
Best money ever made? Look at me. Look at this guy. You know why we walk around like that with these attitudes? Because we're investors, baby. How can you be mad at that? We went from getting evicted to becoming investors, and we're trying to show you that you can do it too.
You can do it too.
It's not going to be easy.
Nope.
You're going to lose money.
Yeah.
And then you're going to make money. But if you never do it, you might just lose money and never make money.
So, save your money and invest it in real estate.
Good luck.